Klaus Schwab, or as we call him, Schwabba the Hutt. This man is the voice of the Great Reset. He's a sinister looking man. But who is he? We decided to take a deeper look into the background of Schwab to find out. If you were going to choose someone to be the saviour of the world, it wouldn't be someone who looked, talked or acted like Klaus Martin Schwab. But if you were going to choose someone who wanted to cull the population, destroy local and global economies, and terrify people about imminent climate disaster, Klaus Schwab would be the perfect choice. Everything about him says fraud, evil or Bond villain. The people doing the casting for this shit show are literally taking the piss out of all of us. We all know him as the man behind the World Economic Forum. But what is this global NGO? Who funds it? Who works for it? And what does it accomplish? What is the history of the Schwabs? And who are this freakazoid's ancestors? And are there other Schwabs around the world in influential positions?
Oliver Schwab. He is the managing director of the World Economic Forum. His sister, Nicole, is a member of the executive committee for the World Economic Forum. In July of 2021, she said that COVID was a huge opportunity to have their great reset.
I see it as a tremendous opportunity to have this great reset.
Their father, Klaus Schwab, is the founder of the World Economic Forum. 7 years ago, he announced plans to start tracking the entire population and merge everyone with a central machine, what he now calls the Great Reset.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves.
It's an integration of those spheres. Just think of sensors planted into our brains. The opportunities are immense.
I see it as a tremendous opportunity to have this great reset.
A unique opportunity to reset our global agenda. So let's use this window of opportunity. I see the need for action. I see the need for a great reset.
Schwab always says, we will own nothing and be happy. But what does he own? And why does he look pissed off all the time? Maybe he owns too much and needs to own nothing to be happy. Schwab is linked to the Club of Rome, and their plan to cull the population is also linked to the Knights of Malta and the Pilgrim Society, who are like Le Cercle. He, like most of the cretins we look into, are almost certainly linked to historic bloodlines. Whatever you think of Schwab, there is no doubt he has been placed in this position by the controllers of this nonsense, and that the heavily funded WEF is being used to nurture future business leaders and indoctrinate them into the methodologies required for the one world government.
This notion to integrate young leaders is part of the World Economic Forum since many years. And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the world.
That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. Mm-hmm. I'm with the president, with a young global leader.
You, a few years ago, started the Young Global Leaders Organization. What was the objective of that, and how is the forum fostering those leaders?
When you look at the stakeholder concept, usually people would say it's business, governments, and civil society. we add three other components to it. We say academia should be very much engaged. So we have a network of experts around the world. We have about 3,000 experts engaged into our different activities. We have a community of universities, Harvard and MIT. The president of MIT, Dr. Reif, by the way, is a member of our board of trustees. We feel academia has to be involved. That's where today many of the new ideas, particularly of a technological nature, are born. But then media is very important. We have to engage much more the young generation, and that's the reason why we created actually two categories. We created the what we call the young global leaders, which are leaders between 30 and 40 years old, who have become already leaders, but also have shown their social commitment. And I was sitting 5 years ago with a group of those young global leaders, and since they have to be nominated before the age of 40, and they are nominated for 5 years, some of those are 44, 45. Initiative to create a group or a community of global shapers are now this community active. We have a hub in 450 cities around the world. We have one here in Boston. And in order to have the license to be a hub of the World Economic Forum, they have to do every year one community, they have to complete one community assignment where they show the social engagement.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal.
A unique opportunity to reset our global agenda. So let's use this window of opportunity. Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
This global reset is necessary. Energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. This global reset is necessary. We will destroy, unfortunately, a lot of employment. This global reset is necessary. The future is already here. It's coming like a tsunami. This global reset is necessary. Just think of sensors planted into our brains. The opportunities are immense. Nobody will be safe if not everybody is vaccinated. Now is the historical moment, the time. This global reset is necessary. This global reset is necessary.
Chairman Schwab, I'm from Japan. May I ask you for... I'm from Japan.
Yeah?
And may I ask you for a comment?
No,
we're on our way to the next thing. We're a bit late.
I can just walk with you and then ask questions.
I think we're gonna rush actually. But thank you. Thanks very much.
Which media are you with?
I am an independent journalist from Japan.
No, thank you very much.
Yes.
I have to ask.
Thank you.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future.
And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order?
Imagine there's no heaven, It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only the sky. Imagine all the people rotting in the ground. Imagine there's no countries. This isn't hard to do. Nothing to sell or buy with until we put the chip in you. Imagine some of the people existing as our slaves. You may say I'm the dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday we destroy you, and useless eaters will be gone. Imagine owning nothing and taking all the drugs. There'll be no greed, no hunger, and you will eat the bugs. Imagine all the people fertilizing the world. You may say I'm the dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday we destroy you, and useless eaters will be gone.
Party in Davos and we're not invited. Klaus. I'm so tired.